Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I am an author and addiction recovery coach, life coach, and the host of this show, To Take Your Life Back Today radio show. You can see a video version of this if you go to YouTube under channel Take Your Life Back Today show. I'm asking you to look inside yourself. One day, a man had an accident while driving to work. He got out of the car and yelled at the other driver, "Lady, you need to learn how to drive. You're the fourth person that hit me today." Isn't that coincidental that 4 people hit him? In life, we can get to a point sometimes where, well, like this man, we're always pointing fingers and placing the blame on other people. But there comes a time when we need to look inside and say, well, maybe I'm the one that needs to be corrected. Maybe I'm the one that needs change. If you're finding fault all the time and developing a habit of seeing the bad rather than the good, if you're skeptical and have trained yourself to be cynical and sarcastic rather than believing the best, if you're constantly blaming other people or everyone for everything that's going wrong in your life, then maybe it's time to look inward instead at other people. Just like the man who had the accident while driving to work, if he had been hit 4 times in that one day, obviously he's the one doing something wrong. Because 4 people just wouldn't hit you. I mean, it has to be that you're doing something. One thing I've learned is a critical spirit will follow you wherever you go. You can't get away from it. You can leave one job angry, upset, and bitter and go around saying, "They didn't treat me right. My boss doesn't know what he's doing." Nobody can do anything right. But if you don't deal with the root of the issue, you have the same problem at the next job or your next relationship, because it is just going to follow you. You'll still think everybody is against you. It's because the problem is inward and not outward. Friends, here's what I think. Here's what I know. I love what Jesus said to the people that we're always placing the blame on others and looking at what others need to fix all the time instead of looking at their own lives. He said, and let me say this, quote unquote, "Get the telephone pole out of your eye before you try to get the toothpick out of your brother's eye." He really didn't say that, but my point is, what he was saying is look inside, deal with your own issues. Spend time trying to improve your own life, and you'll have a whole lot less time being critical and judgmental towards other people. When I come to the end of my days and I stand before God and he says, "Ralph, what did you do with the time that I entrusted you with?" How will I answer that? How did you use the gifts that I gave you? How will you answer that? Those are 2 pretty good questions that God will ask. I would hate to have to say, "God, I spent my life criticizing others, knocking people down, and, trying to make them look bad, placing the blame on others and stirring everything up." I would hate to do that. I have had a hard time believing that God's going to say, "Well done, you good and faithful servant. You did just what I asked." No, I imagine God is going to say, "Do me a favor, clean your own window. Look inward before you come up here. If not, before long, you'll be finding fault with me." I mean, can you imagine if God really said that? Today, you can make that switch, starting today. You can work on cleaning your own windows. You can wipe away the judgment, the criticism, and fault finding, which may be the things that have held you back for years. Love believes the best in others. It always sees the good in other people. And when there is blame or fault to be found, instead of looking outward, look inside. Take a good look inside. Don't be afraid to look inward and humble yourself before God, because God understands. After all, when we're humble, we give God the opportunity to promote and bless us each and every time. In 1 Peter 5:6, "Humble yourself, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time." The message pretty much says this: so be content with who you are and don't put on airs. God's strong hand is on you. He'll promise you at the right time. Live carefree before God. He is most careful with you. So, all I have to say basically is that always look inside yourself. Try not to blame other people for everything. Call me at 844-405-HELP. Together we can help each other take our lives back. Be good to yourselves. Always be good to each other. Remember, a simple smile to a stranger can help that stranger forever, and it can change your life. God wants you to look inside. Stop blaming other people, because you know what? We all have faults. It's not always other people's faults. We all have faults. I have mine and you have yours. May God bless you. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and take good care of yourselves. And remember, God loves you.